They're going to camp at the end of June, so I'll be gone for 2 weeks.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Where they go? Where they? Oh, they're off to that kids camp thing.
Yeah, they'll be gone for 2 weeks around the end of June, last week.
Well, they should enjoy that, right?
Oh yeah, they want to go, so. What's up, Jonathan? Frank, how's it going? Jody? Oh yeah, it's gonna be quiet 2 weeks, I'll tell you that. Oh. And that's 2 weeks I don't have to worry about food neither.
Yeah.
Because the summertime fucking food bill skyrockets. They're home all the time.
Jonathan was first today, followed by Frank. So I just got back from doing a ship because it's been raining on and off here, and
What's
I
up,
got
Daryl?
a window of opportunity to go get a ship, and I did it. So
Did you end up getting that second cruise ship yesterday?
yes, I did, and I posted that too. That was just at dusk, but it turned out really well. I flew the. I'm finding more and more the Air 2S. It really does a good job. It's only in the real dark light that the Air 2S, if you're moving at all, it starts to blur. You know.
Oh yeah, you gotta know how to do the camera settings if you're gonna be flying those at nighttime. DJI, you gotta tweak a little bit more than you do the Autel.
That's for sure.
'Cause I've seen Matt do nighttime video, or well, not nighttime because they can't fly at night, but they're allowed to fly like right when the sun's going down. I think he did one with the Mini too. It came out really good. But you get, like I said, you got to tweak the camera, otherwise it's gonna look like shit. I've flown the night before at the Air 2 and the Mini 2, and you couldn't see shit around my area. It wasn't bright enough. You could see the street lights and stuff. It just was not big city lights.
What happened?
I don't know. Paul was talking about flying at nighttime with the Air 2S. I said it's not good if you don't know how to tweak the camera.
Yeah, that's
Autel
the whole
does.
thing at nighttime. Nighttime, if you're gonna have to go into manual mode if you're doing it
Yeah,
with the
see, the
camera.
Autel does really good in auto at night, but I mean, for what it does, I mean, obviously for somebody like Matt, it's not going to be up to his standards, but you know.
Matt's got standards. I
But
didn't know that.
you know, as far as just shooting an auto, it's not that bad. What's up, Nunya?
I didn't know Matt had a standard.
He was in the
But,
chat over on Dre's the other night talking all kinds of shit because Dre's
yeah, he
audio
was.
cut out.
Yeah, that was funny. I'm sorry.
He was like,
Because
"This is the best
I
he."
texted him. I did everything.
Oh, I tried calling him 3 times on Messenger, and then he called me back around was it like 10:30 or something? And he was like, "Hey, did you need something?" I was like, "No, I was just calling to let you know your audio was cut out." I was like, "A bunch of us are trying to call you and get a hold of you." I said, "And when I called you on Messenger, it wasn't going through. Like it was doing that thing like he didn't have signal, you know?
Right.
Like it was just going do, but it wasn't doing the ringing noise, and so it wouldn't go through." But he called me back on Messenger. I talked to him for about 2, 3 minutes. I was like,
Yeah.
"No, we were just trying to get up with you, let you know your audio cut out. Apparently his yellow box, he forgot to charge it after he did the update and stuff on it." So
Wow. Yeah, he didn't have a clue. And everybody was trying to tell him.
yeah, he must have not had his chat pulled up because he didn't see
Yeah, you
any of
gotta
us.
have that chat next to you. Like we could talk about it because we never read the chat. Hey Jonathan, hey Daryl, Nunya, cool
What's up,
cat,
Michael?
Sir Cat. And Jody's here too. We have a book. So that was like yesterday. Yesterday, Brittany called me about, shoot, it must have been about 9:30. And she FaceTimes me and I go to pick it up and it doesn't do the FaceTime. It's got my logo for some reason. So I said, call me back, try it again. So she calls me back and she goes, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, what? Just tell me what. She goes, well, mama tried to call you. You didn't answer it. I said, and I said, no, I ignored the bitch. and Brittany turns the camera and Gail looks at me and she goes, I'm sitting right here. You know, stop. Like that. I went, I didn't mean to ignore you. Like that. I said, because I already knew what it's about. And Brittany said, yeah, what's it about? I said, what time you bringing Lily over? And she started laughing. She says, yeah, my mom might have to about 11:30.
There you go.
So they had a police chase in New Orleans yesterday. It started in Jefferson Parish, which is next to New Orleans. It went into New Orleans. Jefferson Parish is like the police down in Florida. They don't care. They went after the guy, caught him around Tulane Stadium. The guy jumped out the car. They opened up on him. They just opened up on him because he came out the car with a gun. They got body cam and all the footage on TV. They in the middle of the yard, man, they got him on the ground, upside down, dragging him by his feet, and his face is just dragging on the ground.
Hey Joe, did you
Yep.
see Sony's new camera?
No.
Yeah.
What's the model number?
Sony just dropped a new version of their most affordable camera. This is the ZV-1 Mark II. It shoots super stable 4K video and takes 20 megapixel photos.
And it now comes with an 18 to 50mm lens, which is perfect for vlogging.
The autofocus works like magic and even tracks animals.
Yeah, that
now.
looks like
It's this small,
what you
convenient
call it, a
compact that even
camera,
floats
right?
on my drone. If you want to level up your content from Sony just dropped a new version.
It looks like a camera, right? Yeah, I'll bring that to our high school, see if I'll be there long. Yeah, that looked like trouble there. Well, I got bullet holes all on the side of this car and everything. And my son didn't get home till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Come in the house and I said, are you all right? He went, no. What's the matter? He said, I'm in so much pain. His teeth, what's happening is now the nerves are starting to come back. So he's starting to feel that. And he said, now the top's hurting. The top wasn't hurting before.
Take a couple weeks for that to heal up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to go back to it. He said, it's not like I didn't work today. Now I got to work tomorrow, you know? So but he couldn't take his what you call it? I can't remember what he's got. I can't remember what he's got, but he couldn't take his pain med. All he could take was the Motrin and stuff. He came home, took the pain med, and went to bed. I said, yeah, just get through it more, and you got 3 more days or 2 more days that you can heal up a little bit more before your 3-day weekend. But he said, yeah, but it wasn't that bad. I got 2 arrests last night. He said, all felony arrests.
Oh, he got Memorial Day off?
No, he worked Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a girl for an unauthorized entry into a dwelling, and that's a felony. They arrested her. And then he pulled over a guy last night that tried to ditch him. He said the guy tried to ditch me, saw me behind him. So he tried to ditch me a couple of times. So he said, so when I finally got him on something he did, when he did a traffic violation, I pulled him over, and he had
You're good, man.
a warrant. He had 4 warrants. One place wanted him. So they said, okay, now he's got him. It's a felony warrant. And then he went through the guy's car and found a bottle of Adderall. That was his, it's a Schedule 2, and it was his sister's pills in the car. So he got him for that too.
Oh, I don't know if that's gonna stick though, because he could just say his sister left him in his car, right?
It'll stick.
I mean,
in
'cause
Louisiana, it'll stick.
Well, I'm saying, because if you get pulled over and a family member leaves medication in your car, can you really get in trouble for that?
We're gonna try.
I mean, I'd understand if it was some random person's name on there that
Yeah.
like wasn't related to him or something, but
Well, what they
'cause
do is
I'd
they
almost
charge
bet
it and
he's
see if
gonna-
it works, you know?
because I'm almost gonna bet he's gonna say his sister left him in his car, and his sister's probably gonna come forward and say, "Oh yeah, I left him in there," and then they're not gonna.
Sister gonna come. That's where they at. The bitch took him.
Unless he stole them from his sister and she
Yeah.
didn't know about it.
Well, a lot of times they'll get the stuff in there without a label on. Now he said that he said it was I don't know if there was a label. It might not have been a label on it, and he might have said it was his sister's. You know what I mean? So I didn't hear the whole story because he wasn't talking too much last night. I'll ask him about it when he comes through today, when he passes me. You got a curious. That's a good question. Because if it's got somebody, because if I go pick up, like I went and picked up his meds, that was Schedule 2. If they stop me, I got his meds in the car. You know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've been in the car with Sarah's medication in the middle console, I mean, and
Yeah.
have had other family members' medication in my car before, and I don't know, I never thought about it like it was gonna be a big deal if I got pulled over and they found it in there. Like I said, I'd understand if it was some random ass name that like you didn't know, or somebody that you bought it off of.
Yeah.
Hopefully he didn't steal it from his sister and she's pissed about it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's gonna get him out of that, I think, would be his sister coming forward and saying, "Yeah, those were mine. I left them in the car. I have a prescription for them." And then I don't know if they'd really be able to do anything about that. I'll have to see.
Lance hasn't been on today, right?
Nope, not yet.
He hasn't been in the
I
chat.
got it. I'm gonna get him when he calls. Just saw something on here. I'm looking through the mail. On it.
Apparently that happened to Daryl. She has
Yeah.
put Xanax in her cigarette pack and left it in my car. She had to go with the script and do a statement, and I had to piss clean. Oh, yeah, you definitely don't want to be carrying pills in your fucking cigarette packs. Because that just looks bad. If you're gonna take your pills with you, just take the whole bottle. Or at least have it in a pill sorter. I mean, make it look somewhat like it's legit. What is
Trying to think of who it
Adderall?
was.
Yeah, Adderall's ADHD med. Yeah. People like to take it because they claim it gives them like hyper focusness. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of
Lance's.
schools,
I wonder if Lance gets emails from DJI.
a lot of college kids have been caught with Adderall over the years. It's big in college. They claim it helps them focus, stay up and
Yeah.
study and stuff like that.
Nunya carries
Well,
Narcan.
Yeah, but that's not illegal. You can carry
Yeah,
Narcan
Narcan's
as long
over the
as-
counter schedule.
Yeah,
Schedule.
that's not even a
Is that-
scheduled drug.
I can't remember if
think.
it goes Schedule 1 or Schedule 3. I don't know. Narcan's legit.
Yeah, but you can go buy Narcan and carry it with you. They ain't gonna do nothing with you having that on you. People do that all the
No.
time. They carry it in backpacks and carry it in really bad areas to help people. People that want to go down there.
You know, when I worked EMS, I used to have one in my bag. I used to have two in my bag. I always had two. And because they told us, it was funny. We'd bring our own bag in with our own stuff, and they'd say you can't bring your bag in. You got a unit full of stuff. And I used to tell them I got my bag because it's lighter. It was like a backpack type. And I said I could throw it over my shoulder and run out there and use it. And they said, "Yeah, but you're using your stuff." I said, "No, I'm using your stuff." And they said,
I
"What do you
feel
mean?" And I said, "I refill it." You know.
I feel for you, Daryl. I had quite a few friends, and I lived in North Carolina that got bad on pills and fucking ended up overdosing and dying.
Anybody heard
I had
about the bird? Heard
I had
bird.
3 different friends, and
No,
Bird
you
man.
one I would say acquaintance because I was friends with his sister, and he was only 19 and
That's
died
more
from an
like
overdose of pills.
Hey Eddie, hi everybody in the chat. Hi all on the panel. Where's Paul?
He was just there.
Damn, that's crazy, Jonathan. Like I said, I knew 4 people I was friends with in North Carolina that died from pill overdoses. And then the 5th one I knew was one of my friends' little brother who was only 19 when he died. Pills were so bad in North Carolina. Oh my God, dude, the pill. Talking about an area where I was at, the pill epidemic was so bad in that area.
Forget about pills as in drugs.
Yeah. Like methamphetamines and
Yeah.
hydrocodone and Percocets and all that nasty shit. I hate taking pain meds, to be honest with you. I only like taking them if I
Well,
absolutely need them because they fuck my stomach up really bad.
well, back many years ago, before I met Laura, I was at my sister's one night. I had just had enough. I was sick of the family. I opened a bottle of 100 paracetamol because you could get them back then. All right, got a bottle of vodka, drank the vodka and the paracetamol. The vodka obviously made me throw up. All right, and obviously the paracetamol. And guess what? I woke up the next day with a fucking hangover and no paracetamol.
You're lucky.
Yep.
Yeah, you're lucky.
And
Dude, what
anyone
was crazy,
even considering doing it, remember, whilst you may survive it, it don't fuck your stomach up.
well, what was crazy, like, okay, so when they gave me those pain meds for my kidney stone, they actually had to give me some kind of anti-nausea medicine with them. I can't remember what they were offhand.
So don't do it.
But I can't fucking take them without taking some kind of nausea medicine because opioids make my stomach really, really sick. But, so I don't like taking them unless I absolutely need them. But, yeah, I've seen people that were so pilled out so bad that, dude, they would be taking 15 to 16 Percocets in one sitting, and I'm like, Jesus fuck, how are you even standing? Like, I don't even get that. Like, it's because they got to a point where they were taking one every, couple of day, and then those weren't, and then it kind of, their body got a little immune to it, so they took 2, and they went to 4 a day, and then 6 a day. Next thing you know, they were fucking swallowing a half a bottle every day. Like,
Well,
fuck.
and people often ask, have I recovered from them days when I was suicidal? And I was like, well, kind of. but not really, as this shows.
I'm glad you didn't get hooked on them, Daryl. All I gotta say, because it's a nasty ass habit to get. The fuck is this?
I was thinking the same thing.
That's me getting into serious trouble. I was playing with AI earlier. I got a picture of Laura and I had to do some editing.
Yeah, and Daryl said when he crashed his motorcycle, he was on Percocets for 5 months. Glad he didn't get hooked on them. That's
Now,
rough, man.
it's hard to say what Sparky would say, Eddie, but it probably goes something like this. It's off. Because that's all she ever said. No, those days are in the past now. I'm paying the consequences. Don't do it. Ain't good. You got a lot more to give.
Oh yeah, and the prices people were paying for pills when I was there was ridiculous. Oh my god, dude, people were paying like $5 to $8 per pill. Now you take a 90 prescription bottle for a month, add that up, it's a lot of fucking money.
What's up, Lance?
A giant ass piece of sweet corn. What do you do with that? Right? Supposed to eat it. Not throw it at me. You got sweet corn because of what you did with the blue raspberries yesterday. Got to redecorate the whole freaking living room now. Thanks, darn birds.
Hey, Lance. I don't know if you could hear us.
Okay,
Ah,
guys,
Daryl.
I
Hey,
just
Lance,
flew
can you hear me?
the cemetery, and I'm taking my 360 out. Very cool. A little cloudy. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, we could hear you.
Yep.
Can you guys hear me
Fortunately, yes.
okay? Shake your
Yep.
head, yes? Yes?
Yes.
Paul, you can hear me? Okay, so yeah, I'm just taking, so I flew this little area this morning, just now, and real cool. My parents are both buried here. My dad was buried in 19. My mom was buried in 09. And so I'm going to stop and say hi to them here in a minute. They're in one of those, I don't know what they call them, the above ground.
Yeah.
Mausoleum.
Yeah, mausoleum. So
There's outdoor and
they're an
indoor
M.
mausoleums.
So I'm going to go, but I'm doing a Insta 360 now and do some cool stuff here, I think, with it. And put it on my morning broadcast for the kids this week, and in honor of Memorial Day. I'll hold on to it again until Veterans Day and do it again Veterans Day. But wish it was sunny, but it's not. It's supposed to rain in about 2 hours. So
Is that a military only?
I had a truck pull up next to me, thinking it was the workers, and they were going to kick me out, but I think it's just somebody that's here to observe. I can't hear you guys too well. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my phone and my volume. Let me see if I can turn it up. Oh, I can. Okay.
Is that a military only graveyard?
It is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Your mother was
Yeah.
military too?
She wasn't, but spouses can be buried there. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
yeah. And it was cool when we put my dad in, because they were both cremated, right?
Right.
When we put my dad in, I had put some stuff in with my mom, that were just laying loose. So it's kind of cool to see those things, you know. I put a ballet card of my mom or of my daughter in there. It was kind of cool.
Was your dad World War II, Vietnam? Or
Vietnam,
did he?
Korean, Vietnam, early Korean, of course, and then retired in 75. So Vietnam was just ending. Very cool. Very, very nice cemetery.
What did you fly with?
My POS Avata 2.
Okay.
Yeah, you get a
Did
lot
you-
of, my bad.
Now, did you get the email from DJI this morning?
I didn't look. What did they say that they were recalling them?
No, it said they have essentials for the Avata 2, and one of them was for people to know how to fly it.
What's that? Propellers.
It was a
Very good.
book.
In other words, they're gonna send them to training or what?
Yeah, it's a book for Lance. It said for Lance. Learn how to fly the Avata 2, the greatest drone in the world. And we lost you. We lost this sound.
Yeah, those cemeteries tend to be pretty well kept. A lot of organizations like to do work in those.
Yeah, he sent the rules to me yesterday on a veteran cemetery, what you have to do to fly there. And I've flown the one over here 3 times without ever seeing those rules. And I've had workers out there and everything, and nobody's ever asked me a question.
If you weren't
But you're
causing
supposed
an
to-
issue, then they
No,
probably assumed you knew the rules.
yeah, what you're supposed to do is you can't bother people. Basically, you've got to keep the sovereignty of the
Oh.
area, the quietness of the area,
Right.
and you can't. You're supposed to ask permission prior to going in there to fly. They'll let you do it, and then you got to make sure the airspace is clear. And I think it says you have to be port 107. You know,
Of course,
think
you
it
would
does.
have to, yeah, it'd be definitely observe silence in there because you got people coming in and out, seeing loved ones.
We had about the times I was there. There was about the first day was about 5 people. Second day was about 3 or 4 people, and the last time I went in, there was a family of about 8, and a couple other families in there. And I flew that with the Avata 2, the regular Avata. So I made triple the noise than I was supposed to, probably. That thing's
See,
loud.
I went to a couple graveyards and flew a couple times, but they were old graveyards that they don't bury nobody in anymore. And like the earliest grave was like from the 60s. And so nobody ever came in there. Like it was always empty.
Right.
Like the only people that would go in there were people like me that just wanted to look at the old gravestones and stuff. But 90%, 99% of the people buried in there, their families that knew who they were are long gone, so they don't really go in there. It was a bunch of late 1800s and early 1900 graves, and a couple from the 70s, and that was it. There wasn't much. There wasn't any new graves in any of these two that I used to go to. They're really old. Like the mausoleum that's at the one, you can tell hasn't been opened in decades. Like
Yep.
the keyholes all rusted shut, and the doors you tell it hasn't been opened in decades, and you can't even see in the windows. It's so dirty.
Well, we used
I
to
don't.
when I was in Beaufort, North Carolina or South Carolina. We used to go look on the weekends, just drive looking for old graveyards around old churches, because it was
Can you
all
guys hear
Civil
me?
War stuff. We hear you now.
Okay.
And I had one
But we used
girl
to-
comment on my video of the one I went to that said that her grandpa that I flew over her grandpa's grave, but she liked it. That was the only comment I got on that video.
Home point updated.
Sorry, Joe, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
But that's all right. We but we used to go look at all the little churches that were back in the woods, and you'd find all the little cemeteries next to the churches, and we used to walk around and take pictures of the graves. And it would break your heart when you get up in there and you'd find a family of about 6 people, and you'd have kids that were like 3, 2, 1, and they all died within days of each other. You knew it had to
Oh,
have
yeah.
something to do with disease, you know?
Oh yeah, those 2 graveyards I used to go to. Dude, there were so many children's graves in there from the late 1800s, early 1900s. And they were all like a year, 5 years old, 10 years old, like
Yeah.
none of them made them to their teens.
Yeah,
Like,
because there was one family that it was like six graves, and it was the mom died. Okay, 2 of the babies died. I think the oldest one was 4. It was like 4, 3, 2, 1 or something like this, and then the 2 parents. And I think it was the youngest one and the oldest died with a day apart. Then the mom died, then the other 2 died, then the dad died. And it was all within a week. So there must have been some kind of disease, you know?
That's what happened back then, though. Like they said back in the day, they didn't even name their kids the first couple of months because they just assumed they weren't gonna make it. That was actually
That's
common
crazy.
practice back in the day.
That's crazy.
There's that real famous graveyard that I've seen on YouTube. A bunch of YouTubers that do graveyards that have
Got
gone
a
to with
bicycle
family,
with me.
and it's a husband, 2 different wives that he was married to that passed away. And between the 2 wives, they had like 16 or 17 kids, and the oldest one, I think, made it to 17 or 18 years old. All the
Wow.
rest of them all died within, the first 10 years of their life. And yeah, it's a pretty famous little graveyard.
That's sad.
Father,
Well, Paul, the feels like temperature at 4 o'clock this afternoon is gonna be 106.
Holy crap.
The feels like temperature yesterday when I was out flying was 104.
That's what it was like the other day. Here it was 95 out, and it felt like 104.
Yeah, it was hot yesterday.
Our high today is supposed to be 93. Wednesday
Yeah,
it's
I'm trying
supposed
to
to be
see
up
what
to
they're gonna say.
98. Yeah, tomorrow
We're
it's
at
gonna be
8:30 in the morning. We're at 85 already.
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
we're at 82 right now.
Now it's 57 degrees here.
Huh. Quit showing off.
69% humidity.
Quit bragging, Paul.
Yep.
Yeah,
57
tomorrow's
degrees.
gonna be really freaking hot. Supposed to be 98.
Yeah, I had to wear a coat this morning when I flew that ship.
Wow.
I like the cold weather. Much rather it be cold than
Yeah,
hot.
I like the temperate weather. In other words, if it's like 40 to 60,
Yeah, today's
Yeah.
our high. The highest we're gonna have today for the next 7 days. Our high today is gonna be 96, and then the rest of the week, but for the next 5 to 6 days, 90.
okay, so I just took the Mavic 3 up. That was gonna be that should be fun.
Yeah. Have you ever flown more than one drone at one time?
I never have, no.
There's some guys that do. I've never have either.
I tried an experiment one time. I wanted to see if the Air 2 could lock onto the Mini 2. So I went to the big open park or the big open baseball field where nobody was at. And I put the Mini 2 about I don't know, 10, 15 feet off the ground.
Mhm.
And then I put the air tube behind it and I put it about 30 feet in the air. And I tried to lock onto it, but it like recognized it was another drone and wouldn't let me do it because I wanted to see if I could get the Mini 2 to fly around with the air tube following it. But I couldn't get it to lock onto it.
That'd be cool.
But it actually
Yeah, technically.
it actually recognized it was another drone and it told me it wasn't allowed to do it. It gave me some
Yeah.
kind of message saying that it couldn't lock onto it, and it gave me a list of things that you could lock onto, like walking people, and I had Kelsey and I think Kelsey and Aubrey with me. And
It's
I
like
had
Daryl
them,
just said, it's one pilot, one drone.
yeah, I
Talked
can
at how
never
many
get it to
people
work.
drove through. I probably saw 5 cars, and it's 6:30.
That one dude, Bill from Canada, dude, dude, he had like 4 drones or some shit following his car around his neighborhood one day.
Yeah, I remember that.
He did that a bunch of times. He had and then there was a couple times he was in his wheelchair and he was riding around and he had 2 Skydios following him
Yeah, I remember that too.
simultaneously. Yeah, he does all kinds of crazy shit.
You got a lot of people there in the morning, huh? Holiday Lance?
Yeah, I'm shocked. It's like, it's like I probably saw 5 or 6 cars go by me this early. No one's out in the fields yet. I was the only one that got out. I'm gonna go see my parents here, so I'm gonna disappear for about 5 minutes, just so you guys know.
I did, Jonathan, but I wasn't planning on like flying at 200 feet trying to do it. I just was testing it pretty much right off the ground. I just wanted to fly. I was going to fly through just around the baseball field if I could get it to lock on. I wasn't trying to like fly, like I said, like I wasn't going to go up 200-300 feet in the air and try to follow the other drone. I just was wanted to test it to see if it would lock onto it. The highest the Air 2 was maybe 25, 30 feet. But that dude Bill from Canada, he's fucking be doing some crazy shit. He's got videos of him flying like 2,000 feet in the air and actively
the guy
puts
with-
that.
Is that the guy with the white beard?
Yeah, the Quinn dude. He
Yeah.
actively, and he puts the shit in his title. He'd be like 1,200 feet, 2,400
Yeah.
feet in the air. Like he'll put it in the title of his video. I'm like,
Isn't he from
bro.
Canada?
Yeah, he's from
Yep.
Canada. But I've asked him about it before. He's like, okay. He just doesn't give a shit. Like he really just doesn't give a crap. I think at his age and with his health issues, he just doesn't give a shit. Yeah, he did a video of him driving his car one day and he had 4 different drones following his car and he was by himself. Yeah, he was the one that kept changing his name to that Chinese writing and everybody's getting pissed because they couldn't tag him.
Yeah.
He's a big Chinese advocate. Because his wife's from China. So
Who's
he's
that?
all about that dude Quinn from Canada. He's all pro-Chinese and all that. Yeah, that kind of annoys me.
Okay, firmware update this morning. You did it.
Along with how to fly it?
Yeah, major update we've waited for. The goggles, Integra are now compatible with the Avata 2.
There's no video of it anyway, Jonathan, so there ain't no proof I did it anyway.
Yeah.
I never posted anything about it.
Oh, it's all kind of stuff there, Lance. It's now the new firmware gives us super slow motion.
Oh, that way he looked.
I like it.
I miss Hodges. Is he okay? Wondering. Pretty sure he's all right.
Okay, Also, we got 4K 100 frames per second and more. There's one, two,
Okay, no way. 100 frames. That is awesome. Can you guys see
it is
this?
six. There's 6 videos out on it.
Yep, we can see it.
There's the, I don't know how well you can see, but there's the,
So I guess I'm gonna be updating stuff today.
yeah, keep me posted, Joe. I've got to work. In fact, I'm gonna go into my, I'm gonna head there right now. Had to put you in my pocket, sorry. Taking some pictures.
Actually, Nunya Hodges said that he watches the show quite a bit. He just doesn't say anything. He said he does watch it though. He listens to it.
Who do I want to watch?
Want to.
Yeah, they said it was
Not that one.
Tuesday.
He
Yeah,
said that
Lon
last
came on
time.
the other day and he said, they asked him, he said they got a big update coming out. And they asked Lon, when do you think it happens? And he said, look for Tuesday.
He was right on.
He got some
400
inside
frames a
information.
second. That's going to be awesome.
It says 4K 100 and it says and more. It says bring super slow motion, enhanced.
But what's super slow in
capabilities.
2.7? I wonder what
Don't know.
2. I'm sure it's not 4K.
See, now you got tech drone, air photography, DM, drone supremacy, Ian in London, and Dobo. All of them put out videos. So who do I watch?
Already, wow.
I almost want to watch Dobo, but I don't like watching Dobo.
Yeah, he
probably
had pretty snide comment the other day.
Yeah, he'll probably be deeper into it, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna pull over. I'll pull over.
He made a side comment to you, Lance?
Not to me. Well, not to me. More so to Joe, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna get
Where at?
guys. Hold on.
I don't
I'm
remember.
gonna leave you in the car.
Oh, I know what it was. I said one to him. No, I didn't say one to him.
Your baby bumpers.
Baby bumpers you made for the Avata 2?
I wish I would have seen it.
That must have been the reference.
Yeah. I wish I would have seen it. I would have said something right back. I'm gonna say, yeah, I paid $5 for the thing on Colts. So I don't know if somebody stole yours or you stole theirs, you know.
Well, if you want to get technical, Jonathan, Kelsey was with me and Kelsey was registered as with the FAA, so I was just overseeing the experiment. Kelsey did get registered a couple years ago when she was flying with me. That was right after she got her thing from the FAA. She actually sat and took the trust test with me. Went over it with her and everything. I'm gonna be honest with you, I never watched him, Cool Cat.
Is that Michael?
Yeah. I honestly never watched any of the big guys. The only one I ever really watched, and it was just more for tutorial, was Rick from what is his name? From Rick the older guy, one that's really hyper. He unboxes the drones, he does the tutorial videos. And, what the fuck's the name of his channel? You guys know who I'm talking about, right?
Is he English?
No, he's American. His name's Rick, and he's older.
Okay.
He's around your guys' age range.
You
And
guys.
he has he does the He actually has like a store where they sell cables and everything. Like he has cables designed and everything. I just can't think of his damn name. His channel name. His name was Rick.
Sure.
He's got a pretty big channel. You'd probably know him if you saw him.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, and I can't think of his name either. Of his channel.
But yeah, I used to watch him for just little short tutorials on stuff. But other than that, I never really watched any of the big channels. I was never into watching Ken Heron. I was never into watching Dobo. I didn't watch any of those guys. I felt more comfortable with the hanging around the smaller channels.
Was it Rick, the one that was flying out of his backyard? Doesn't he live on like a little lake, dinky lake, and he lost it? I think it was a Phantom.
Yes.
Be right
I
back.
don't remember. Said I never really watched his videos. I just would watch whenever, like when the Mini 2 came out, I watched a couple of his videos on camera settings.
It's gotta be
'Cause,
144.
When I first got it, the gimbal, you know, it was set really high, so it would super fast. And I watched his video and he showed like what settings are the best, so it's nice and smooth going up and down and everything. But other than that, I never really watched any of the big guys.
You know about these ones?
Okay.
The only
I'm
time
going
I
to-
would ever
The doing ones left.
The only time I ever watched Dobo or any of them is when there was like controversy going on. That was about it.
Okay, looking for my
What the
parents.
hell's
There
the
they
name
are,
of
right
Rick's
there.
channel?
There's my folks right there. Can you
God,
guys see that?
I can't. I've been
Yeah.
racking my brain trying to remember his channel name. I can't.
I'm gonna put you guys down here. I'm gonna take a couple pictures. But yeah, kind of a cool little spot. And they're buried right next to the trees. Kind of cool.
And now it's gonna annoy the piss out of me because I can't think of his name. His channel name.
Well, you know who's pretty good at remembering stuff like that would be the Nunya.
But he actually designs like cable. He has cables designed and stuff like that. Sells them on his store for whenever new drones come out. He'll have like cables designed that work better and all that. What's his name? His channel name. I'm trying to find his channel.
You know who would probably know, Joe? Johnny would know who he is.
Okay, guys, I got what I wanted. Off to work. See if I can.
I can't remember.
No, now it's annoying the shit out of me.
Jonathan, do you remember the guy that used to do tutorials and stuff from his home? His
Drone
name was-
Valley.
What?
Drone Valley.
Drone
Yeah,
Valley.
he's still around.
I like him.
Yeah, he's
I
still
like his
around.
channel.
He just did a video 18 hours ago. He still does stuff.
Drone Valley.
Drone Valley.
It looks like he's dabbled into electric scooters and Synology. He's done a couple videos on Synology hard.
Drone Valley.
Power banks. Yeah, he's kind of moved. I wouldn't say it's not, his channel's not basically just drones anymore. He seems to be doing a lot of different things.
Well, isn't his background in engineering or something?
Something like that, yeah. He used to have like a really high-end job back in the day.
His videos are
But-
really good.
I used to like watching him just because he wasn't all flashy with the videos and stuff. He just would sit down at his little table and he'd
Sit
open
down
it
and tell it like it is.
He was the only one I ever really watched for just simple basic tutorial videos if I needed to know how to do something.
I haven't seen one of his videos in quite a while.
Yeah, he definitely has aged if you looked at his recent videos when I was watching them. I
So,
haven't
Joe,
watched
can
one of
you-
his videos in a couple of years.
Joe, can you give me the specs on the new firmware update again?
Joe's on Hawes.
He sucks. He's probably flying me about it too. "100 frames a second at 4K. That's awesome."
Yeah.
Probably watching Rick right now.
Clearly don't know James anymore.
So, Paul, you fly the ships today?
I got one this morning, but it's been raining ever since I flew and came back home.
Okay.
I caught a window where it was not, because it rained last night, most of the night.
Yeah.
And then I woke up like at 5 or 5:30 and I heard this ship was coming down and it was just after dawn. And so I raced down and got it.
How close are you to Lansing?
About 2 hours.
Okay. And Huron is one of the shallowest of the Great Lakes, isn't it?
No, you got the smaller Great Lakes like Lake St. Clair.
Okay.
Erie is Lake Erie is shallower. The
Okay.
deepest one, of course, is Superior.
Yeah. That's the only one I've put my toes in, and it was cold.
Yep.
How deep is that like?
I think it gets to be like 500-600 feet deep.
It's over your head.
What's that lake in California that's super deep? I'm trying to think of it. There's one in California that's super deep.
Shasta.
You said what, like what?
Shasta.
Yeah, I think that's it, yeah.
And there's one in Oregon as well that's really deep.
Oh, Lake Tahoe. That's the one
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking of.
Tahoe is cold. Oh, it's cold. Drove
Lake
my first
Tahoe
jet.
is the deepest at 1,645 feet.
Okay.
And then Lake Tahoe is the second deepest lake in the United States after Crater Lake in Oregon.
That's the one. Crater Lake in Oregon. Deep, deep, deep.
Okay, Lance. 4K 100 frames added slow motion shooting.
Okay.
Avata 2 is compatible with the Goggles 2 Integra, RC Motion 2, and FPV RC 2. And then Easy Acro is now supported in RC Motion 2 and D-Log M supported by Goggles 3.
Okay. So I
Right.
wonder if you could fly the Motion 2 with the Goggles 3.
Yep,
That's
there's
what
your
we're gonna
bet.
find out.
Yeah, because that Motion 3 sucks.
So what it's telling me is that my FPV RC2 sticks will work now with the Avata 2.
Nice. You don't have to buy a new pair.
Yep, that's Rick's channel there. That's a video he
See,
just
that's
put
what I
up.
was waiting to see.
Joe,
Yeah.
Yes.
sorry to change subject a minute, but I've just sent you a link in the private chat. Yeah, you can use that website. You get 200 credits per month, but each picture's 5 credits. So use them wisely. You can earn others and buy more if you want, but you can turn 2D image photos into 3D images.
Ooh.
I actually made a new model of Laura this morning.
Oh, that was funny. Play that again, will you?
I'm not
It
allowed.
wasn't funny, it
Come on,
was
play it, play it.
disturbing.
We got to see that again.
Yeah.
Ah. Hold on.
Okay, you guys all ready? Grab, pay attention. This is good.
Got to find it first.
He got Laura doing a little dance.
No, it's just an image.
Oh, yeah, right.
Let me know when you show it so I can look. I'm driving. I can glance down real quick.
I'd pull over if I were you.
I might fall off the seat, huh? Sorry, Laura. Hey, is Laura there?
Those in the other room.
Okay,
So
because I just
it was
There we
a
go.
2D
I wanted.
It was just
There
a
it is.
standard photo of her, and then I put it through this editor thing, and this what came out. At least he's making her look
Ninja
like
Laura.
she's smiling.
Yep.
Funny. I'm at a
AI.
stoplight.
Yep.
I'm at a stoplight, so I can look at it for a bit.
Well, it just
I thought you said you.
repeats
You
itself
pulled over.
and over again.
Right.
I just wanted her to say good morning to me. I like the way she says my name.
Good morning, Lance.
Good morning, Lance.
Lance. Hey,
Lance.
shut up, Joe.
Yep, exactly. It means the same thing, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Better stop the share. I didn't even share it, did I?
There it is again.
You gonna use it for, Joe?
I don't know.
You need to shoot that with the Avata 2 4K slow motion.
Right. So, Joe, that website I just sent you, that was the website I used for that video, but there's other things on there. The Meshy side of it does 3D models that you can print.
That's what I wanted to know. You could do a 3D model, you could print that.
Yeah, just give me a minute. I'll go and I'll
Yeah,
send it.
AI struggles with little things like that, Michael. Like sometimes it will do a VIF photo that will look really good, but they'll look at the hand and there'll be 6 fingers instead of 5. Or it might be 4 instead of 5.
Because I do have one item that I want to try to do.
What?
For a 3D model. If it will give me a 3D STL file or something like that I could probably print, I'm gonna try. And it's the Suffolk County Vietnam Memorial that Captain Ray put a picture of.
Oh, you're welcome, Nanya.
And it's like a pyramid, but like a different kind of shape. It's not really wide. It's like a little memorial. And I was trying to design it myself, and I can't get it the way it looks.
Well, and the thing with AI too is it's not like advancing every year. It's almost doubling every month. Like AI is extremely moving ahead very quickly. And in 2
Yeah, I
years,
see that.
AI is going to be nothing like you remember it today.
Yeah, image to 3D, text to 3D,
Yeah,
AI
the image to 3D is the
text.
better one.
Yeah. I'll play with
So
that later today.
Imagine what AI is going to be like in 5 years. Because like I said, right now it's doubling and pretty much in power every month at this point. ChatGPT is making huge advances every month. So it's going to be nuts in like 5 years.
That's gonna be crazy. See, Lance, the one thing that we were talking about, now the Goggles 3 is gonna work. We were wondering if the Goggles 3 was gonna have an update to be able to go back to fly the original Levada.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Well, whatever you want, they're going to do the opposite. So
Yeah, I know.
If that would happen, I would sell my goggles too. People are clamoring after my goggles. They could give a rat's, you know what, with my original Vada.
Right. Because I would sell the whole package of the first Avata, with one battery, with the Integra goggles. I'd sell the Integra goggles then if I could use my 3 goggles to go back. But
Yeah.
right now I can't do it.
I don't see why they would do that though. Like to me, from a business standpoint, that doesn't make sense. Because it's like then they're just giving you the chance to use old tech with new stuff when they're trying to sell you new tech. I mean, at some point they may do it, but I don't think they're going to do it
Yeah.
anytime soon because they're still trying to push the new Avata.
It's a loud semi.
What they're going to wait until it's aged a little bit, and then they'll start adding stuff like that.
So, Joe, this is what I did. I took this picture of Laura.
Okay, the 4K 100 frames per second only works in 16.9.
See that, Joe?
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
take 16.9.
Right. So that's the photo I took of her from Facebook. And then what came out was that.
Wow.
Is that a print?
Yep, that was a 3D print.
3D print?
Yep.
Now,
Nice.
where was Laura headed to? She's all dressed up. What were you guys doing?
Well, it was years ago. We were going out.
Yeah.
You know, Laura dresses up like that and dances for him all the time.
Laura does dress up from time to time, you know. She does have quite a lot of nice clothes. Most of them are collecting dust, but yeah.
Now, if it was early 1900s, she'd have been dressing like that every day. Girls don't dress like that no more unless it's a special occasion.
An ass.
Oh.
Otherwise, it's jeans and t-shirt most of the time.
I just used my duck on this guy, Joe.
Flip somebody off with the plastic duck.
Cut me off.
So I've taken.
I tell you what, I could have used that super slow motion yesterday when I was flying around in bikinis.
So I've taken this picture here, and it's come out with that.
That's pretty good.
I won't turn it the other way because it doesn't look very flattering. Need some editing in Mesh Mixer.
Like I said, imagine what it's gonna be like in 5 years. Doing shit like that.
Well, think of it this way. Not last year before when I got my first Reality and I printed a model of Laura. It took over 27 pictures to make one model. This is now taking one model and converting it. Now I've got to work out how you download them as a STL file on this one. Download. STL.
The study just came out, Joe. It says that they have studied it and they find that
Credits.
people become more negative at the age of
Ouch.
42.
So that's when it all started, huh?
Hold on, say that again. What now? I missed that.
People start becoming more negative, their personalities, about everything at the age of 42.
No, they don't. They become more negative as soon as they get married.
Huh.
What the
Ice cream.
Well, I mean, David's figured out every return policy known to man with every company. Yeah, he
Yeah.
hasn't figured out how to return Laura.
Yeah. That's because he wants Laura to dance for him.
Fine. Is there anything you want destroyed?
Yeah, AI in 2 to 5 years is going to be absolutely mind blowing. I'm telling you. The pace it's going now.
Well, you know that the two big questions in my mind is did David had the guts to show that video to Laura, and what was her reaction?
Well, I'm still here, but I'm in pain.
One thing I'm really curious to see is when AI starts getting introduced into the medical field more and more. Because it's going to start figuring shit out that, you know, researchers have spent decades trying to figure out. It's going to do it in a matter of minutes. It's going to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, watch it turn out that cancer's just a simple thing to fix.
I'm telling you, shit like that is what the type of shit I'm talking about. It's going to figure out the perfect compound for killing it. I mean, just in the last couple of years, I mean, some of these researchers that have hooked up these AIs to computers, and had them run calculations for different things, and it started coming up with all these compounds that were never even known to the human race. They didn't even know what these compounds were, and yet these AIs are figuring it out in a matter of minutes. That's going to be a game changer right there in the field of medicine, I'm telling you.
Well, the other thing is that computers are expanding so much, and then you got AI, and then you got holographic projections. I won't see it in my lifetime, but I'll bet you in next 100 years, you're going to have AI doctors working just like on Star Trek. What was that one doctor?
I give it another 20, 25 years.
Getting closer to George Jetson every day.
Yep.
Well, and then you have quantum computing, which is starting to come online, which is a huge game changer in itself. I mean, there's a race for that as well, because whoever comes up with a viable working quantum computer, if it's a nefarious state like China, or just say like North Korea, somebody who was smart enough to actually figure out how to do it. Which I mean, there's a lot of companies here in the U.S. that have working ones, but they're just very hard to keep stable because of the physics involved with them. Is the main problem they have with them. I mean, everything from passwords and all that are pretty much a thing of the past, because a quantum computer, a regular computer, if it wants to break a password, it has to sit there and go through each password individually. And that could take a computer, the best computer in the world, it could take 1,000,000 years to crack a code. Where a quantum computer takes every single code that's ever possible simultaneously, all at one time, tries them all at once, and figures it out in a matter of seconds. That's the difference between a regular computer and quantum computers. And those are dangerous if you're not the first one to have it. It could be dangerous for your country, your infrastructure, your everything that's hooked to the internet.
Oh,
And that's why governments are dumping billions of dollars every year trying to get those online. IBM, I think it was IBM like 6 months ago or 8 months ago. I think that they had a viable, stable one that they were about to put online. I don't know whatever happened with it though. I never looked into it. There was an article a while back about it. Yeah, they already have quantum computers, cool cat. That's what I'm saying. Problem is they're not really viable for mass use because of the problem with the stability of them. They're very hard to keep stable. That's the biggest problem they have with them.
Yeah, I'm disappointed though, if they could make the motion two, that's with the original Avata, and they have the goggles, Integra and all of those, that original Avata, why can't the goggles 3 backdate?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Because they could come up, but why can't you go back a little?
I am stoked that the Motion 2 will work with the Avata 3, or the Avata 2, I mean.
You like that fact because it's bigger. I'm supposed to get that silicone Wednesday, I think. What's today? Today? Tomorrow. Today's
Well, does
Tuesday.
the Motion 3 have any features that the Motion 2 doesn't have? Or is it pretty much the same, just in a smaller factor?
It's just a little bit, it's got this, it's now, because it's hooked to this, now it works with the Easy Acro and everything. And it's just a little bit different positioning in your buttons.
But there's no like major feature upgrades to it that.
Not
Two
that I
doesn't
could
have?
really see.
Oh, well, I would say that, yeah, if you'd rather have the 2, that would make sense then.
But you see why I'm still mad that the threes won't go back. All I need is the goggles to go back
And so they'll probably
because
do
I'd have
that
the
at
sticks
some
for the
point,
original.
but they're gonna want that Avata 2 to age a little bit to where they, get the most cells out of it. And then when it starts kind of, flatlining, in sales, and then that's when they'll start
But-
making stuff compatible. I'd probably
But
say
you
it's gonna
see,
be 6 to 8
also,
months.
also the Goggles 3 are better, to me, are better goggles than the Integra. So if you get that to work with the O3 unit, they're gonna sell a lot of those for FPV guys that are using the O3 unit.
There's
That's-
two
that's
things I'm
what-
disappointed in the Avata 2. The size of the motion controller and the OC 4 is not what I figured it would be.
Yeah, I got a point there. I've got, I lose signal sometimes where I don't think I should be losing signal.
Yeah, I lose signal, and the Avata 2, the Avata does not lose signal in that same
Yep.
spot. So, the OC 4 is overrated for me.
I
anyway.
agree.
I wanted to hear Dre's take on the whole DJI bill the other night, but he was like, the government's clamoring on both sides, and his audio cut out. I think they were the ones that shut him down.
Yeah, that's what it was.
He was about to start
Conspiracy.
diving into, the whole DJI or the drone ban bill. And then that's when his audio cut out. I was like, damn it. I wanted to hear what he had to say about it. I told Matt in the chat, I said, yeah, I've been kind of reading his lips. I'm pretty sure he called you an asshole.
Well, I thought I got an answer just now from Marine Corps. You know, they sent me a email the other day telling me that they're still getting some information together, that everything's being processed. And then I told them thank you, and then she sent me back, it's our pleasure. You know, God, thought I was thinking you had an answer. Don't do that.
Send a message back. My pleasure. And you let me know when the hell my money's coming.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Cool
I
Cat
want to know where
says,
my cash.
here comes Dre now.
Into the devil.
Wait a minute. Let me go get a suit on. Hold on.
Hey, Dre.
Morning, Dre.
How we doing this
Yeah.
morning?
Good.
Lance,
Good.
is this your last week of work?
Let's see. No, we don't get out until the 21st of June.
Oh wow, you're traditional.
We are. My wife gets out on the 15th, and I get out on the 21st.
Yeah, so you guys don't start until September then?
Yeah, after Labor Day,
Yeah.
like the Monday after the Monday of Labor Day.
That's traditional.
Yeah, that's old school tradition. My wife starts in August.
Yeah, I wish we did. Although right now the weather is 55 and cloudy.
Yeah.
It's going to be that way until the 4th of July. So
Right.
and
You get the
September is beautiful.
May gray and June gloom, and then everybody
Yep.
starts complaining about the heat in July and August.
Yep.
Oh, Dre, did you hear what I said before you came in?
Yeah, that's why I came in, because I heard
I
what
said
you
the
were saying.
government, I think the government cut you off. That's what it was.
No, I had an update to do on my YOLO box, and it sucked up all out the power off of it. So when I started the show, I only had like 15%. So I was very lucky to get about 25 minutes into. But the part you're talking about, I was just telling folks that a lot of people want to jump on either side of the political bandwagon. And I was telling them a majority of these bills that are being pushed through are coming from both sides of the aisle. You have the Stefanik, who is a Republican, but there's another guy from Connecticut who is a Democrat, and they are pushing this thing. But Russ from 51 Drones put out a very powerful video over the weekend. I think it was Friday or Saturday. He put it out where he named names of these individuals who are operating behind the scenes. And two individuals he mentioned are both former Skydio higher up people who are writing this legislation for these legislators and pushing these bills through. One guy he was a speech writer for Stefanik, and he's somewhere else now in the government. And another guy who used to work for Skydio is now running the AUVIS organization.
Do you think Skydio actively is trying to shut DJI down, or do you think the government went to them and said, "We want them
Well,
out of here. You
like I
guys
said,
come in
it's
and
one of
tell
those
us what we
perfect
need to do," or
storm
whatever?
scenarios where Skydio, like I said, they walked away from the consumer industry last year. And I got that information when I talked to the rep at a small expo show in Fullerton, California. And he told me then, I got him on camera saying that, Skydio is walking away from the consumer market as of this time and may or may not return. So
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is Skydio using the government for their own agenda, or is the government using Skydio for their agenda? I think it's
Skydio's using the government for
Oh,
their own
yeah.
agenda.
It's if you gotta follow the money, right, Dre?
Yeah.
The money
that's
trail
what
doesn't
it
go
comes down to.
that way, it goes
well,
that way.
that's what I'm saying. From just my perspective, it seemed more like the government was using Skydio for
Well,
their
no, I think
anti-Chinese.
Skydio
Skydio is
is
using the government.
Well, I know
Skydio is
that,
using the
but
government.
it just seemed like that because of all the other stuff that doesn't have to do with drones that they're trying to ban. Complete other industries of stuff.
Well, like I said, it's always the same thing. Reason why I say it's Skydio using the government because they're not trying to ban any other type of DJI products. They're not trying to ban the Pocket 3, the Osmo, whatever it's 4 cameras. They're not trying to block all the gimbals. They want to totally, put all this extra tariffs and everything else on the drones. Now, what may happen is, like I say, legislation changes at every step that it goes through. And people add in stuff and take away stuff and everything else. So the final draft of what goes through for the vote or lands on the president's desk may be nothing like it was when it first started out. But the core of it is to go after foreign entities, which is a popular thing in our political arena today, is go after Chinese, because we know pretty much hands down the last 50 years, we have gave them the opportunity to be in the position they're in today. This, like I tell people, this is going back 50 years of outsourcing our labor market, outsourcing our technology and everything else. Because like I tell people, if you go back to the Nixon administration, this is when we had the start of all of our environmental laws, starting back then in his administration, where we had to cut back. And a lot of this all came from, if anybody's in here from Ohio, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, I don't know if Joe remembers this or not, or Paul, where they had the big fire on one of the Ohio rivers. And it was because of all the chemicals that are being dumped in the river itself that it self-ignited. And it took them almost a month to put that fire out. And it's kind of hard to put a fire out when it's on water and stuff. So from that was one of the tipping points that caused our country to start outsourcing a lot of labor work, a lot of what we call more dangerous chemical involved, electronic involved, everything else type of production overseas. And we've been, and like I say, I can test this in my hometown. We had Kaiser Steel. Justin, Kaiser Steel and stuff.
Yeah.
Here in Fontana, California. And I remember as a kid, you couldn't see the mountains, which are no more than about maybe a 5-10 minute drive, because the steel mill just put so much smog out that it was just an orange haze. And, I don't remember seeing sunsets until I got into college age, and I went somewhere else. It was just an orange haze when I grew up. And I mean, the air had a metallic taste to it and everything else. So when these laws start taking effect into the 70s, when I was a little, younger kid and stuff, and through high school throughout the 70s, we outsourced all this stuff. And now here we are 50 years later, that we've done this stuff for the last 50 years, empowering the Chinese, empowering the government to do all our dirty work that we didn't want to do on our own shores. this is where we're at. Our economy went from a manufacturing economy, which the byproduct of manufacturing is poor air quality. That's just the name of the game. So now we have a national economy of logistics and service, which is low impact on the environment. Because anybody who sees pictures of China today is nothing but a big haze.
Oh
You see
yeah, dude,
pictures
some of
days
the
in China.
cities are insane. Just
Yeah.
like India. India's the same way. India's
Yeah.
absolutely disgusting, most of their cities.
Yeah, it's just a big haze because they have taken on the manufacturing that we no longer want to do here. So that's why I'm saying that it was both sides of the aisle are backing these bills for whatever reason. But Skydio, it has individuals who left Skydio who have got involved in the political arena behind the scenes, certain lawmakers and certain organizations who are pushing this agenda all the way across the board.
I've definitely seen that, especially with even if you look at the voting on the TikTok bill.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 90% on yes and
right.
very little on no.
You see how they slid it under that that appropriation bill to support funding for Ukraine and Israel.
Yeah, it was the
So, like I say, no one wants to be on the wrong side of that issue. So you slide it under something else. That's why I'm saying that this is where we have to be careful and keep paying attention to what happens to these. But like I said, they can evolve into something totally different, and they can slide it in with something else, and it may be, like I say, hidden or buried under something else that they know is going to get passed, and that gets passed right along with it.
Yeah, it was
But
the
like
same
Russ
thing
has put out, Greg over at Pilot Institute's put out, and I've even said it on other people's shows that this mistitling of this latest bill, the Responders Drone Act, First Responders Drone Act, is just as much as deceptive as it get, dude. I mean,
Yep.
you make somebody believe that you're trying to do something positive for first responders, and you're doing something totally negative.
It's the same
And that's
thing they
what's
did
really
with that.
sad.
It was the same thing they did with that weird alien bill they did back when was it 2021? They slipped it in there with the COVID bill. Nobody saw it.
Yeah,
Remember, then the government had to come out with a
it
report.
happens all the time. This kind of stuff happens all the time in politics.
That
So
was
it's
how that
nothing
whole
new.
David
It's just
Gresh
like,
thing started.
and like I said, I redid my live stream yesterday morning and stuff. So you can go back and catch it then. I reposted it then, so I had to redo the whole thing. Matter of fact, right after you guys went off, Paul's show went off, I went on about 10, 15 minutes later and did about an hour and covered
Did you
some
see
stuff
what
I was
Matt
trying
wrote
to
in your
cover at
chat?
night. Huh?
See what Matt wrote in your chat when you were live and you weren't talking? Your audio
No,
went out.
I
He was
didn't
like,
see. I saw Matt pop in, but I didn't see what he said.
he said, to be honest, this is the best he's ever sounded. I was like, I was
Yeah,
laughing.
I'm still trying to connect everything up. Like I said, I got that Rode mic, which is a very nice mic. I got a little small audio mixer thing. So it sounds really nice and everything. But I said I want to incorporate it into my computer. The YOLO box is great, but I also want to be able to use the mic even when I'm on like Paul's show or somebody else's show. I still want to use that mic. So
Well, if you're not, are you taking the YOLO box places with you, or are you just leaving it?
No, that one, I have two of them. I have the original YOLO box, now the YOLO box Ultra. The Ultra stays at my PC. I'm thinking about bringing the other one into my office. I mean, they are portable. As long as you got a Wi-Fi connection, you can still stream through those things. And I see the original one I have only goes to 1080p. The Ultra goes to 4K.
I was gonna say, do you normally just leave it plugged in all the time since you don't move it around, or?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's weird because it comes, the other ones don't come with a charger. This one did, but the charger is real weird. But the YOLO box, when you have it hooked up to a lot of cameras, like I have mine hooked up to a total, I want to say 5 cameras. I only use about 2 or 3 at any different show, but there's 5 cameras hooked to it. Also
Thank
hooked
you.
to my phone. I also have a storage device hooked to it for any other type of graphics that I use. So it's draining faster than it is charging.
Oh, okay. It
Yeah, so the power
kind
supply
of
they
got
give you doesn't keep
kind of
up.
underpowered. Yeah.
Yeah, it's underpowered for charging purpose. That's why I say charge it up, unplug it up. Because also I noticed that if you leave the power cord in when you're broadcasting, you can hear a little bit of a hissing noise. And once you pull that power plug out, you're golden.
Yeah, it's just like the newer cell phones. If you don't have that high watt charging
Yeah,
and you try to plug it into an old charger, the damn thing will die faster
yeah,
than it charges. Yeah.
yeah. Like I said, if I unhook everything from that YOLO box and put it on the charger off of my M30T charger, which has a high powered fast charging thing, it'll charge it up in about 2 hours, come 100%. And the battery's supposed to last 6 hours.
That's weird that they'd give you an underpowered charger because it's like, if you're
Yeah.
not using it, you should be able to
Well,
leave it plugged in all the time and just,
and that's what I normally did. And I think it's because this last update, something occurred in it that is draining faster. It is all this happened that last update. I'm like, wow, I did the update and it was like it was just eating up all the battery power and stuff. So, and that's why I was hoping the other night that it would sustain it, at least stay at 15%. But I had the power cord in, but I knew I was gonna have a little bit of feedback also. So I don't know. It's still working with. I only do it once a month with it, but that's why I say I want to start having another patch cord to go in the back of my audio card, so I can use that mic also. With no matter what show I'm on, I can still use that mic.
Yeah, audio is always the biggest pain in the ass for setting up any kind of live
Yeah.
streaming.
Because you can run the YOLO box through Zoom and other OBS and stuff like that if you really want to get elaborate. But I'm trying to not have my computer tied to that primarily and stuff. So I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to, like I said, all the graphics I have on there, that's all built into the system I create. You can create something on your computer and then copy it over to the SD built in. You have an SD card you can put in, or you can get what you call those little small hard drives. I don't care what they call them, but basically it's a small hard drive, the digital hard drive. And I have one of those attached where you can put video, you can do still shots, create graphics and save it on there. And then you bring it into the YOLO box as a different graphic or video. And then it just sits there in queue until you want to use it. Just like my whole intro. That's on I saved on the hard drive. Saved on the hard drive, and I just queue it up and it rolls.
Yeah, those boxes are pretty cool though. I mean, but they're fucking expensive. Ooh.
Yeah, so you got that, and just like I did the scrolling of the air data information, easy made that in the YOLO box, boom, put it up there, and I think I scrolled the website of the Drone Advocacy Alliance, put that in there, and it strolls across. And like I said, all you gotta do is tap it, and it starts or stops. So it's not much of a distraction. But when you got a lot of things, the YOLO box is an excellent thing to have if you have another person actually operating the YOLO box all the time. Like I said, all the different camera angles I use, that's set to an automatic preset setup.
Well, Matt did say he'd loan his production team out to you, so
yeah, right.
That was one of the comments.
Is he gonna cut off both his hands?
I'll be back in a minute, guys.
Hey, Lance. Oh, he just left. DJI sucks. I just plugged in the Avada and all the stuff, and it says I don't have an update. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, cool, cat. That's I dabbled in audio work for my church years ago, and my brother was a musician, so I got an earful of all that stuff about hums and hisses and everything else. And a lot of time it is cabling or the power source not being I forgot the term with it, but it's basically not a consistent. You got we call the pulsating power source. I forgot the technical name he used to tell me years ago, but where it sends out powers and pulses, and that's what causes a lot of the different hissing and everything you may have in audio. That you need a certain type of power source that's consistent.
Oh yeah, audio is a pain in the ass, I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. I mean, just look at what Jason, how much trouble he's had with his audio and trying to get it right. You know, it's like every
Yeah.
other day he has something else that messes up and he tries to sit there and figure it out. And I told him,
Yeah.
I said, the hardest part about setting up OBS and Streamlabs and all these streaming things is getting the audio right. I said, everything else is a breeze,
Yeah.
but the audio can be a real pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah, and that's why I say I like the mic setup that I have going through that little audio mixer board I bought, and I can run a patch cable from that into the audio card of the computer. And that way I can use that mic at home, but no matter what show I'm on or whatever, I can always use that mic. You know, also I have another lapel mic I'm using now. If I was at home, I'll be using that to talk. So, like you said, audio is very important. It plays a lot with people. If your audio is not very clean and clear, people won't stay around. Or if it is, nice audio, people will stay around.
Now I do have to ask you this: did you have your chat pulled up? Because we were all
like I
yelling
said,
at you in the chat for like 20 minutes trying to let you know your audio was out.
Yeah, like I say, that the day I streamed that night, I didn't pull up the YouTube on my computer, and like I say, Yellow Box does allow you to see a chat, but like I say, then you're talking about what you're going to be looking at, and you're dividing up the screen. It's only an 8-inch screen that you have, so
Right.
it'll show me you can have whatever you're streaming to. Like I said, I can see the YouTube chat and Facebook chat. I believe on a YOLO box. Like I say, if I had it, on my computer, I just have the page. Like yesterday morning, when I redid the whole thing, I pulled up the Facebook stream, and I can see the regular chat like I'm doing now. I can see the chat on one screen, and we're all on another screen. So it makes it easier when you got all these small little screens. Then it's very noticeable to the people that you're turning your head trying to look at all this stuff. But then you're trying to be the voice that you're talking to everybody. So it's all about where you can position your screens at. So it looks like you're the one that's engaging them and not them engaging you. You see what I'm
Like I
saying?
told Matt, I was trying to read your lips, and I told Matt, I'm pretty sure he either called you an ass or an amateur pilot. That was all I could take from it.
Yeah. Yeah, cool cat. Yeah, the AC current is very bad for audio. Direct current is cleaner and more stable. But most of the stuff we get, all these chargers for cell phones and other little smaller devices, are usually little AC pulsating type of chargers. And people don't realize they wreak havoc with audio.
Yep, that's what I told Jason. I said, that's going to be your biggest hurdle is getting your audio set. I was like, you got to get it set, get it working, and just leave it.
Yeah, I
Don't
told
keep
him to go check
switching
out
back and
Yellow
forth.
Box because I know all the cameras he's trying to run through. I said, you need to have a device. I mean, you can run it through a computer, but once again, it's about the ease of being able to have everything right there at your fingertips. And that's what the Yellow Box does today. It makes everything real quick. I can just tap this, tap that, whatever, and I can go to camera 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on.
Yeah, because he made his setup a little bit more complicated because he wants to use the headset mic for talking to us on the game, but then he wants to use the regular mic for talking to the YouTube stream.
Right.
But then you're having to switch between them. Yeah, it's kind of a weird setup he's got going.
Yeah,
I get
and
why he wants to do it, but it's just weird.
That's the issue you run into. Like I say, when I'm talking at home on a show like Paul's show, whatever, I want to use the headset mic because I'm not the one that's doing all the talking. I need to listen too. And you don't really want to use a outside speaker because then you have the possibility of getting echo and feedback. So people go with the headsets and they use the headset mics, but then again, that mic is not as clean or clear a lot of times as a dedicated mic, like the mic you have or
Yeah.
the Rode mic. So you're
But-
trying to take the computer to use one mic and then use your headset as the speakers.
Actually, a good option for him would be too, if you wanted something a little cheaper, to be an Elgato. A little
Yeah.
switchboard that you can get.
Yeah,
Those
as
are
I said,
really
the
good for
switchboard
that
I
too.
have is called the what's the name of that company? It's a little small company. Let me see. Let me go to my here.
Like I said, those yellow boxes, man, those things are fucking expensive.
Yeah, they are. Let me see.
Even
here.
Elgatos are pretty expensive though.
Yeah,
I think
Elgato's
for this 16
is-
button, or is it 15 button? I think it's like 250
yeah,
or something like that.
they can get up there. Yeah, come on, screen.
Because they have what is it, a 6 button, a 15 button, and then they have, I think, a 32 button one. That's when they get real expensive when you get out of the 6 button one.
Let me see orders. Let me see buy agains. Maybe I'll find
You
it.
take page out of Paul's book on audience engagement. This one there.
That's not listed there. I typed the company and it'll pop right up. I can't remember the company's name. And not act like I didn't order nothing a lot. I just bought that in January. I know I buy a lot of stuff, but damn. you know you're bad with Amazon when you can't even get to the stuff you bought a month ago.
I mean, you spend too much money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, a lot of it's petty stuff too. Like, oh, you bought a cord here, you bought some camera batteries here, tennis shoes, a belt. So I can't even find it now. I got
That's one thing I don't like buying online is I don't like buying shoes and clothes. Because every company, I don't know, they seem to size everything.
Yeah,
And
you
their
gotta be careful with
sizes,
that.
yeah. They'll say they're 42, but then you'll get a 42 pair from another company and they're completely different fit.
Yeah.
It's
Okay, let
like-
me share this. This is the little audio board I have here.
Or whatever size you go with.
Yeah, share screen. Okay. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the little audio board I have there. Fifine is a company. And you can see it there. Line out,
Never heard of
headphone
that.
line in, mic. And there's a couple other things there. So, and that's what I'm using, you know. Cost about, say, 30, 40 bucks. And it works well. And like I said, if I was doing a show every day like Paul, you know, where I had to actually, you know, use this stuff on a consistent basis, I'd be getting so much better with it, you know, overall.
And
But
actually, if you have a nice gaming keyboard, like the one I have has 6
Mhm.
macro keys on it, you can program those keys for whatever you want.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if you want to use them as a little switchboard, you can use them as a switchboard.
yeah.
You
I
just
remember
have
my days when I used to game a lot. It's just that the best way to game was the old school way where everything was connected wire. You know, wireless, you have, just like anything else, you have a little bit of a lag. Mouse clicks, everything else. I mean, back in my day, for you to be one of the better gamers, you want a mouse that plugged in and stuff.
Oh yeah,
And
nowadays you don't really have to worry about that. They've got it
yeah, I
down.
mean, you know, the lag is not as
When-
bad because you have higher internet speeds and everything else. But I would still say if you're a hardcore serious gamer, you still would want to have hardwired connections and stuff.
Like with the Corsair mouse I have, you can actually go in and adjust the delay. There's
Yeah.
an adjustment
Mhm.
IQ where you can
Yeah.
tweak it if it's not working correctly. You can tweak the milliseconds on it.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
adjust it and then do a calibration on it because
Yeah.
it's wireless. But my wireless mouse I can plug in as a hardwired mouse if I want to
Mm-hmm.
too. So
Yeah.
when it's charging, it's plugged in obviously directly to the computer. So
Right. Right. Joe, that small clip you did yesterday was awesome, dude. That the Vada flying over all the flags.
The little
That
1 minute one.
Yeah, that was nice, man. That was really
Yeah, that
nice.
was Lance's idea. Lance said, condense it down to about a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through and I just took those three little scenes and then I think it was three scenes and then the flags. Because
Yeah.
I had that one scene where I was flying up that I didn't use in the original.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
that's
like
one
that.
thing I've learned when it comes to editing. Is just your videos don't have to be super long. It's just having the right shots put together, and bam, it'd be. That's the only thing I didn't think I saw or heard. Well, I can't see music, but I didn't think I heard any music in the background. But it'd been nice if it would have either been a rendition of the anthem or either a nice rendition of taps.
But what I wound up doing is I had Pomora do an AI generated music.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, just an AI generated stuff.
Right.
And it was just a little 1 minute piece of music, and I added it to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just every time I changed the scene, it was at a crescendo in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So as it started to, get a little louder, it changed.
Right. And I know
Yeah.
your years of in the service and being around that environment. I'm sure you've been to services where they had taps and echo, where
Right.
they have play right there, and they have someone that you can't even see off the distance playing an echo. And my thing to me, that's the most awesome type of taps you can always hear, and it's almost it chills down your spine when you hear it.
It does.
And stuff.
Remember, I started out in the Marine Corps band.
Yep.
So we had a lot of things we used to play. I was trying to find anything like America type stuff.
Right.
And I went through Epidemic, and they don't have enough of that. They need to have more of that.
Yeah. I had a video I did a couple of years back that had a nice American rendition of it. It was all instrumental with a violin lead on it. And it was basically, I think it was about maybe 6 months after the shooting we had here in San Bernardino, because there was a lot of memorials that were put up. And like I said, I just took some pictures of some large flags and stuff like that. And I ended at a little small memorial about a block away from the shooting. And this, that last part of the song was about maybe 10 seconds long. I just focused, I used my phone mainly, just focused the camera right on that as the song finished out and stuff. I'm trying to think if I had it around anymore now.
Yeah, when I put that minute together though, and I looked at it, I said, "Yeah, I like that."
Yeah,
I really did.
Yeah, that was really nice.
You're welcome, Joe.
Hey, I mentioned you, right?
You did, and I'm just acknowledging the thank you. Hey,
Joe said nothing but nice things about you, Lance.
What does every soldier that puts a flag in Arlington have in common? They all have exactly 1 foot shoe size. Why is that? Because they put the flag exactly 1 foot from the tombstone. So they don't have to measure, they stick their foot in there and they jam the flag in. Serious.
Yeah. Yeah, Justin had to do that 2 years ago when they went over to the Southeast Cemetery, the police academy.
Yeah.
Went over there, and that's what they had to do, put the foot against it and put the flag in front of it.
Yep. Every one of those guys have exactly 1 foot boot size.
Yeah.
Lance, Joe said nothing but good things after you left about you earlier.
Oh, he's such a friendly buddy of mine.
Yeah, Dre, I told him about that DJI update that came out today, and they put out the essentials for the Avata 2, the greatest drone in the world. And one of them was, "This book is for Lance on how to fly it."
Yeah, I think I found it. I'm gonna go ahead and play it here.
Yeah, I typed in taps just now on Epidemic Sound and got nothing.
Hmm.
Yeah, Joe, I just read that book online, that DJI book. It said just said get better in it.
You haven't got one of these in a while.
Yeah. Oh, let me turn the sound on my help. Can you guys hear it?
No sound. Hey, Justin, this one's for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not getting any sound.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Speak, Lance. Or is this Dre?
Right.
No, he's used to having no sound, this Dre.
Sound went out again?
Yeah, it's his forte. Isn't it, Dre?
What the hell I want to know this about? I type in taps for sound effects to see if it had anything. It comes out with spider footsteps. Like I need it. Who recorded a spider walking?
Well, half the sound effects you hear in movies aren't actually what they really are in real life.
Is that a Chinese
ever-
flag middle there?
No.
You ever seen the people that do the background sound effects for movies and
Oh,
stuff?
no.
Different
Yeah, I've
items
seen
they
that.
use. It's pretty crazy.
Crazy shit.
Yeah. I think I found that music. I forgot where I found it. It might have been YouTube. I found that music in the YouTube catalog.
Try using, oh, what the hell's the name of that fucking that app you can download, Shazam?
Mhm.
You could
Well, I was saying,
use
it's how you
Shazam
type
and
it
it will
in. It's
actually,
even Epidemic. If you type in USA, I think if you type in USA National Anthem, and then that might be the best way to start your search.
well, Shazam will actually listen to the song and it will it
Yeah,
will
they'll
search
bring
all
up
the
stuff,
different
but like I
websites.
say, I don't know if Shazam has all copyright free music though.
Oh, Jesus. Somebody's mad.
Breaking everything.
That David fussing at somebody.
Something about they're fucking breaking everything. That's all I heard him say. Must be the kids or something he's bitching about.
Oh, that would have been cool too.
Or it could be Laura.
No, it's that little fucker up there.
What, your neighbors?
No,
Or the birds?
Rio and Bluey.
Oh, they're tearing up the house.
That's an understatement. You just emptied the fucking kitchen cupboard.
Are you talking about some pets or kids?
No, he's talking about two birds.
Okay.
Those are two parrots he has.
Okay. Easy solution. Cage them.
They have to have some flight out time.
Hey, you know what? If you don't know how to behave, you get back in the cage.
That's true though. You gotta show them a form of a little bit of punishment.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
go back in the cage if you don't listen.
That's it. Same way you do children. Oh, you want to misbehave? Let me give you some of this act right.
I was about to say, are you putting your kids in the cage, Dre?
Hey, whatever needs to be done. Whatever needs to be done. You take away their toys, nowadays you take away their tablets and phones and gaming systems. Hey, I'm gonna give you some of this act right. Back in my day, you had to go out and get the switch off the tree.
Oh boy, I'm telling you, boy, you better get a good one too.
And yeah, you don't come back with a little flimsy stuff. if somebody got to go out there and get the switch for you, it's gonna be twice as bad.
Yeah, my dad had a paddle
Yep.
that was cut out of a 2x4 and it had Terminator written on it and there was holes drilled in it for airflow.
That's that. You know what those holes are for, Justin?
Yeah, to cut back on wind resistance.
Yep, that was it. The last paddle I got, I think I was in 8th grade in junior high school. One of my counselors gave me a SWAT for pitching quarters, man, which was considered gambling.
Pitch it. Wait, hold on. What was that?
Pitching
What is
quarters.
that?
That was an old school way. Joe may
Yeah.
remember that. You pitch
know.
nickels, quarters, whatever, up against you usually do it on the sidewalk or some smooth concrete surface that had like a little wall on the back of it, and the closest
one.
closer to the wall won.
Huh.
You
Never
collect
heard of
all the money.
Yeah, I used to do with pennies. And we used to
Yeah.
I used to rack up.
Yeah. The quarters were bigger, quarters are heavier, and they would slide a little bit, so you can hit it
Yeah.
and slide it right up there.
Yeah, back in my day, a penny was a quarter, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, pennies rolled around too much. They get to rolling and all kind of dumb stuff. And nickels wasn't too bad, but quarters was the best thing to pitch with.
They're talking about switches, though. My grandmother used to say, "Go get a switch off the peach tree."
Yeah.
That sucker wouldn't break it; just wrap around you. And it'd have to be, if it wasn't off the peach tree, she'd go get it.
Oh,
And
yeah,
if she
that's
got
what I'm
it, it
saying.
was different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got to get it, it's gonna be worse.
Yeah.
And then they
I
gonna
went out there one day and got a piece off the apple tree, right? With the apple tree in the back.
Then they're gonna tell you, you can get a whooping because you didn't get the right type of switch.
Yeah, I got a double whooping that day.
Yeah.
From that point on, I just went to the peach tree and just got one, just took it.
That's why I say you get some of that act right.
Like
Yeah,
my
it
dad
was
used
a different world.
My dad used to tell me about how my uncle used to piss my grandpa off. He'd tell him, "Shut up," and he'd be like, "Okay, don't say another word. All right."
They get you
my
knocked
grandpa-
out too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I told one of my kids, I think I might have been Justin, I told him to. I think I got mad at him one day. He walked up, he walked past his brother. His brother was laying on the floor watching. This is when he was about 3 years old. So he's walking past his brother and he kicks his brother in the head. And he did it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the tonsil taken out. I was in bed hurting. So I grabbed him and pinned him on the ground. I said, "You don't walk past your brother." He's like 3.5 years old. I said, you don't walk past your brother and kick him in the head." And he's looking at me and he says, "You need to get off of me." Like that. And I said, "You need to watch what you're saying." And he says, "You're making me mad." And I said, "Listen to me good." I said, "You don't need to be," he said, "You're making me really mad." And I said, "You need to stop talking to me and listen." He says, "Now you're making me angry."
Mm.
And he was changing the pace of it.
Mm-hmm.
Headbutted me.
Uh-uh.
He headbutted me. I put it like this. I had to close my eyes. That's how bad it hurt.
Mm.
I just laid on him for a couple of seconds. And I said, "Dude, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know if you're brain dead, but you're about to be." But he headbutted the hell out of me at like 3.5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kelsey was talking back to me one day on Murray's show, and I just looked at her. I didn't mute the microphone. I looked at her and said, "You're gonna be walking out of this house with 3 shoes." She goes, What does that mean?" I said, 2 on your feet and 1 in your ass. Keep it up.
Well, Justin's the same way now. We were in Walmart. He was, like I said, about 3.5, 4 years old. And I threw him in the basket. I said, "Here, you riding today." So I got him in the basket and we're riding and we're going down an aisle and he sees a kid on the other side of the aisle and he says, "Let's go another way." I said, "What's the matter?" "I don't like that kid." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I don't know who's that kid." He said, "I don't know who he is. I just don't like him. If I get near him, I'm gonna hit him." Like that. I said, so we went the other way, right? Yeah, a woman walks by and he starts singing, "I like big butts."
Oh, wow.
I said, "Dude, I can't take you anywhere."
Mm-hmm.
This was just last week, Dre.
About a week ago. I can't come to Walmart with me anymore.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
But when he was about between 3 and 5, he was terrible.
Yeah.
He tells everybody in the family that for about 3 years I didn't talk to him. And he might be right.
Thomas used to call Kelsey an incompetent fool when he was in elementary school. 'Cause he was a grade behind her and he was always doing her homework for her.
Hmm.
He'd say, "You're such an incompetent fool." Where the hell did you even hear that from?
Well, politics has taken a turn for the worse.
Was it better before?
They just did a press conference outside of the Trump trial, and they brought in Robert De Niro was talking about how bad Trump is and that everybody needs to wake up and blah 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 blah. It's like, what the hell? You know, here's a has-been actor out there going to tell everybody what they ought to do.
Why the hell they bring him in for of all people?
Well, because
What
he's
does
a
he
New
have to do with
Yorker.
the case?
Yeah.
Why not?
He's an icon in New York.
Listen, wouldn't it be great if they brought Robert De Niro into everything?
No.
I don't know. It's so hard to separate because I really like him as an actor, but then some of the shit he says, I'm just like, oh. I do like his
He's
acting.
been saying a lot lately.
I do like his movies though, but it's just sometimes I try to separate their politics from their
This is why I
other
said,
stuff.
for some reason, the world has let the asylum run the place. And it isn't working. Right? We have footballers thinking they're politicians. We have actors thinking they're politicians. We have property developers that know absolutely jack shit and build upside down houses. Yeah. The world has gone nuts. If we can just round them all up, put them back in the box, the project has failed.
Yeah, like I said, that's one of the reasons I don't like watching sports anymore because it got too damn political. I said I can't listen to somebody making $50 million a year and whining about equality. I'm like, just doesn't seem to go together
Yeah,
with
they
what you're
fly
making
around
in
in
your.
private jets and everything else, and yep.
No.
Well, I mean, you got people that are, will be making 50, $60 million a year as an actor or as some kind of sports player of, whatever sports team. And then they're on the news and out in the fields bitching about equality. And I'm like, you literally made it. You're making millions of dollars a year. Pretty much disproving your own point.
Like I said, the asylum is running the place.
Well, I always say that we created these heroes and everything else ourselves. So when the monster gets loose, don't complain.
Been
I
telling
mean,
Sarah that
who
about
are
Taylor
the most
Swift for
famous
weeks.
people in any country on the planet? Athletes, entertainers. And why are they so high regarded? Because they go out there and play a game that we all grew up playing, and they would seem to be they are the best at it. So we put them on that pedestal, and now they have a platform and they use it. Because if nobody was buying their jerseys, nobody was going to the games, they wouldn't be on TV. We wouldn't be having bar fights over the scores and whatnot, and chasing referees out of the stadium because they got the call wrong. So
Oh,
like I
that's
said,
true, though.
we create these things ourselves, and then we get mad when they have an opinion. And that's just the whole facts of it.
I like the part in Meet the Frockers when he tells him, Bernard, if you continue, I will have to engage you. That will only commence the sequence of combat, will only lead in your demise. I love it. I love it. He's just standing like
Cool
that.
Cat wants you, Dre, to get into politics.
What's that, Paul?
Cool Cat says that you Dre for president.
I don't know about president. I've been involved in politics. I've been appointed to different positions and boards, and I even ran for office. And just a mindset. But like I said, the problem is a lot of times people get into it. I would say for the wrong reasons. Some folks are in it because they managed to have. In other words, it's like you look at a band. There's always going to be a front guy, but there is a whole band. And that's the way politics are. The guy out front may not be the best individual, but he looks the best for the band. It may be the guitar player, the drummer, or anybody else, keyboard player, whoever else, may be the brains of the operation, may have the financial backing for the operation, but there's always going to be a front man. So over the years, I've learned to be content to be one of the guys in the back.
I think that is the problem today. The best people that are out there for the job are the ones that are hiding at the back.
Yeah, and that's what
And
makes
they're
a lot
having
of
a
people
good
angry
laugh.
today.
Yeah, they're having a good laugh at what else is going on.
Yeah, I say a lot of people are more angry today because they're finding out who are these people behind the scenes who are actually pulling the strings of what actually takes place.
Oh yeah.
They had a clip on yesterday on, I think it was one of them on Fox, and it was a guy saying that, yeah, Biden, the person pulling all the strings behind the fact is Kamala Harris, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a clip of her going, you're right. You're right. Like that. And I like to fell out my chair when I saw that. That was so funny.
Oh man.
But she'll say, you're right.
Yeah. Just like I say, one of the, I guess the most names that get thrown about is behind the scenes people is George Soros. It's like he is behind everything that goes on for the Democratic Party. It seems like there's a George Soros prosecutor, George Soros this, George Soros is funding that. I said, when is this man ever gonna run out of money? He is backing everything.
Yeah, he got a lot of money.
Yeah, he gotta be one of the richest men on the planet. And when they talk about the rich people on the planet, I never hear his name.
So
that's all part of his scheme. He keeps himself out of the limelight as much as possible.
That must be
his endorsements that bring money.
Yeah, because I say, you hear about what's his name there in Iowa, famous investor, a guy. I can't think of his name. He's good friends with a lot of athletes and stuff, and he talks about
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, yes, Warren Buffett. You talk about him, the Warren Buffetts, and you talk about the Gates, and you talk about the Koch brothers, who are basically bankrolled by almost half of the presidential candidates over the last 50 years. The Koch brothers, and they're in the agricultural business and stuff. And I said, these are the folks that you don't hear about every day, but you use their products on a daily basis, and they have so much influence and control, and they're never on TV. Never on TV.
Yeah, Warren's got a huge control on Wall Street.
Yeah. Warren is considered, I mean, he's considered the golden child of Wall Street. So I gotta
we
tell
got
you,
this
always
young-
like a band, you got a guy out there front singing the songs, and you got everybody else in the background playing their roles.
We got this young lady that's the weather meteorologist that comes on in the mornings.
Mhm.
And every time she sits on the couch, I think I'm 30 years old again.
Huh.
Makes me wish. She got to quit sitting on the couch. Look at her. It makes me, I feel things I haven't felt in years.
Oh, Joe, you remind me of a little part there in what's the movie?
You gotta stop taking them special pills there.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying to
don't
think
need
of
a
the
pill for that
movie,
They're
Full
not
Metal
Smarties.
Jacket. Yeah, the movie
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket, where they talk about Anne Margaret's coming to Vietnam, and he says,
Yeah.
"I want to see some early morning dew." And
Yeah.
what you sound like? He
I
said,
tell you,
I just wish they get a better camera angle. And she just barely parked them legs.
see, I missed my chance though. That's the only one I don't know at Fox 8. Only person I've never met over at Fox 8. And
Yeah.
every time she's on an assignment, I say I'm gonna go out there and mess with her because they all know me except for her,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And I missed my chance. She went and got married.
Oh boy,
You know, she missed her chance. She went and got married.
you missed her chance, huh?
Yeah, she missed
There
her
you
chance.
go. There you go.
God darn it.
Yeah.
And when I saw that ring on her finger, I went, "Oh hell no!"
Well, we got some out here. You don't know if they married or not because sometimes they be on the show with their ring on, other times they don't have it on. I'm like, what's
They don't
going
have-
on
yeah,
here?
exactly.
You know, what,
I've noticed that a lot of them.
Yeah, I said, is
no,
it marriage
no
on the
ring on the
rocks?
finger, you know?
Yeah, the marriage on the rocks or something. When y'all get along, you wear the ring. When you ain't get along, you take it off.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Well, I think maybe in her case, or similar like that, Joe, is they've been coached to don't tempt Joe. Keep your rings off your fingers. Keep your rings off your fingers. Let them all think you're available.
Yeah.
You know what we've just been talking about? The people at the back pulling the strings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the puppets at the front. Well,
Yeah.
we've just had a case over here where one of our politicians, they've accused her of being a tax diddling and stuff. I mean, we're talking about £6,000 here. She bought a house and didn't declare it apparently 10 years ago before she was in politics, and they're trying to do it for it. Well, the police have turned around and said, we've investigated it. There's no case to answer. However, the person that was pulling the strings of the politicians that got them to investigate her is now also under investigation because he owes around about £150 million of tax.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
from him pulling a few strings at the back, thinking he was being clever, he's
Mhm.
put himself deep in the doo-doo.
Yep.
Yeah.
About
That's what
bloody time.
Like I said, that's why they expose themselves trying to overreach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, yeah, you got 9 videos out talking about this upgrade for the Avata 2. But when you
Mhm.
plug the Avata 2 in, it doesn't have the upgrade yet.
The upgrade's not out across the board.
It's not across the board yet. It didn't come to me. I might have to plug it in the computer and do it.
Hey, Joseph, it didn't come to me. It ain't across the board.
It didn't come to me. I'm the only one without it, maybe. Me and Lance.
Oh man.
That's because they fly it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got 70-something flights with that sucker since it came out.
Wow.
Let's see. Yeah, I
I
flew
think
it again.
I think I just went over 300 hours about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 73 flights since the 11th of April.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, I went. I've been wanting to get around the Bogfalaya River by Chimes Restaurant because they've got a rental place for kayaks there, and the people come down and swim on the dock and the restaurant's right there, and they all dock their little kayaks and all of this. I've been wanting to get there, but every time the access points to get to it, by the time I get close, I start losing my signal. So I can't get exactly to where I need to be. So as I made the turn on Highway 90 yesterday, I pulled into the grass right there on the side by the bridge. So the video coming out might be tomorrow. It says finding my way to the Bogfalaya. And I got myself going through all the bushes with then I'm coming down into the water. And I went all the way down there, got all that video. I got a guy on a paddle board sitting there with his son. And I went by him and did the 180 slide. And he looks at me and gives me his macho man stuff, and all of this. And I'm coming back, and they got these two girls in bikinis that like knock you out. I mean, they were beautiful. And as I came back, there was a guy fishing, and I noticed that when I went by him the first time, it looked like he tried to throw the fishing thing at the drone. So coming back, I wasn't going by him.
Right.
So coming back, I decided to go through the trees again, coming back. I wound up going over the trees, underneath stuff and everything. And I said, trying to find a shortcut to the home point. But I just went that way, and I came back around to where I started at and came back in. I thought it just gave it a little bit different look,
Yeah. I like to see that. And I know I heard you the other day talking about boats, something in bikinis.
Yeah, that was yesterday. I got one of them. I changed the name of them. Let me see what I called them. I can't remember what I called them. But I took the bikinis off. I said, that's not my channel. I don't do that. Let me see what I said. I called it kayaks, paddleboards, dogs, and pretty girls.
Yeah, can we just go back and click that little section there where Joe said he took the bikinis off?
Yeah, I took the bikinis off. That's what I did. But I was lucky. I was very lucky. I was low to the water. You can see how low I am to the water. I'm right above the kayaks. I'm only about 1.5 feet off, maybe. And I'm coming in between branches, and there's one guy, he just keeps coming towards me, and I know I could beat him to the branches, but he slowed up, and he was within reach. He could have grabbed the drone, or he could have slapped it with the paddle, or his big lab could have decided that was a bird.
Right.
And he just watched it go by. It was like a wave, it was like, and I took a chance going there. I wasn't bothering him because you could see where I was going, like serpentining around him and going in and out.
Right.
And then coming back the other way, and all the girls were on their paddle boards or standing on the paddle boards, and I was just kind of flying. They was just standing there waving, looking at it. It was. But there were 6 dogs I counted in that video.
Oh, wow.
On paddle boards and kayaks.
The
river was jumping yesterday.
Yeah, holiday weekend.
Well, it's like that in the summertime because they've got that little kayak business, and everybody goes up there and rents a kayak and takes off up and down the river.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's a nice place to fly. We got Johnny out there. Johnny told me, he said, "How you find all these little places?" Google Maps. I got one right by him. I told him this week we're going up there. If he don't come up there, I'm gonna be there. It's north of him about maybe 10 miles north of him. Not even 10 miles, maybe 5 miles. And it's the Tangipahoa River. And they've got a little, when you go on Highway 40, they got a little sandbar where people get in with the inner tubes to go tubing down the river. And I want to get out there on a regular day and just get 1.5 feet, 2 feet above the water and just follow the river until I run out of signal and come back.
Okay.
Because those, I like those. You put just a little quiet music, just a little serene type of thing. Got a cousin of mine that I call her a cousin. She's just a friend. She grew up in the same neighborhood with everybody. And the other day she took my card and she texted me and she says, "I love this one. It's like 4 minutes long." She goes, "I've got that thing on the nighttime. I put it on the other night loop and just let it loop all night." She says, "I just loved it,
Yeah. All right. Well, Mr. Murray, I'm gonna go ahead and sign
Yeah,
off
I think
here.
we're gonna close her down. We've had enough fun for the day. Joe, you're gonna go fly?
Might be flying after a baby in about an hour.
Oh, okay. David,
If
thanks
she's
for
coming
being
over, here,
here.
I'll get
We'll
in about
see
an
ya.
hour.
Lance,
Lance, see you later. Let me know if you get that update, Lance, because mine didn't come through yet.
Yeah, I'll be going live in an hour and 40 minutes.
okay, Justin, we'll see ya. And David's
Okay.
going live in an hour and 40 minutes.
And Johnny's calling. Let me see.
Okay, everybody, we'll see ya.
Bye.